Okay, right now I'm going to show you proper alignment for Tadasana, so that once you start a series, you know a little bit about where your body is supposed to be. So in Tadasana, we start on our feet. We start with our feet about hip distance apart. And by hip distance, we can place our hands on our hips and scoot our feet out so that they're just inside our palms. Then we're going to lift our toes and grind through the ball joint of this toe. Spread our toes wide, and as we lower them, we're also putting a lot of weight into our pinky toes and our heel. Then we're going to lift through the arch in our foot and feel an engagement in the muscles as we come up. So all of these muscles should be engaged for stability. Then we're going to engage our core and tilt our pelvic area just enough where we feel a lengthening in our spine. It shouldn't be an artificial tilt, it should be just enough where we feel our spine elongate. And we're going to inhale our shoulders up, and as we exhale, we're going to lower them down our back, which is going to cause a rotation of our arms and bring our palms facing forward. And then up to our head, we're going to straighten our spine like we're 8 years old, and we want to get on that roller coaster ride and they are measuring us. So we want to be as tall as we possibly can. If you're doing this proper, then you should break into a sweat if you hold this for long enough. 2 breaths in this, you should feel an engagement in pretty much every muscle group in your body. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to show you Uttanasana, what it looks like and how to get into it, and other modifications that some people may require. In Uttanasana, we start very similar to Tadasana, and the placement of the feet, the engagement in the arches, the upper legs, and the core. And as we exhale, we're going to bend forward at the waist. Different people are going to be able to bend further or deeper into the posture. If this is as far as you can go, this is fine. I encourage the use of blocks or books or any other prop that you might need. The point is to keep the spine straight. If you need to bend your knees a little to relieve any pressure, that's fine too. If you can, put your hands all the way down on the ground. Just make sure that your spine is still straight. You can do that by coming up onto your fingertips, elongating the spine, and folding further into it. You don't want any arching, hunching, anything like that. You want to keep your spine as straight as possible. If this is as far as you can go down, this is still Uttanasana. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to show you Utkatasana and the proper alignment in that posture. In Utkatasana, we start with our feet hip distance apart, toes spread wide, grind in the ball joint of the toe. We're going to fold forward just like we do in Uttanasana and plant our hands or come down as low as we can and bend our knees deeply. What's really important about this posture is that our knees do not knock together or flail out too far. We want them tracking directly over the second toe. And we're going to inhale and bring our arms up so that they're in line with our ears. We're going to rock our pelvic bone back and forth so that we know what is too far back and too far forward, until we feel a lengthening in our spine. There's going to be a natural curve, but we don't want it exaggerated like this. Right? To be very natural. If this is as far down as you can come, this is fine. This is still Utkatasana. But this is not any longer Utkatasana. If you find that your knees are knocking together, bring your feet all the way together, touching so that your knees touch, then lower as far as you're comfortable. That's Utkatasana. Now I'm going to show you a lunge, how to get into it, and some modifications. First, we're going to bend the knees and place our hands directly under our shoulders. We'll step our left foot back, keeping the knee tracking directly over the ankle and in line with the second toe. This is the most important part of this posture. The back leg should be strong and firm. If it's too intense, we can lower the top of the foot onto the ground, as long as we still have an alignment here between knee and ankle. We don't want to see it over the toes, and we don't want to see it too far back. Puts a lot of strain on the knee and on the ankle. And that's a lunge. Now I'm going to show you Chaturanga Dandasana and alignment notes and modifications. So in Chaturanga, we're going to start on all fours, bring our hands directly under our shoulders and spread our fingers wide. We'll bring one foot back, engage the core, bring the second foot back to a plank posture. As we exhale, we're going to lower slowly all the way to the ground. The most important part of this posture is keeping the forearm completely perpendicular to the floor so that your elbow and wrist are completely stacked. It's going to alleviate any strain on these joints. If this posture is too challenging, an alternative is once you're in plank to drop your knees, drop your chin and your chest, and then lower your body to the ground. And that's actually called knees, chest, and chin, and that's a modification for chaturanga. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate Cobra for you and how to get into it and what it's going to look like. In Cobra, we start on our stomach. We place our hands, the fingers spread wide and the thumbs pointing about the nipple line. We're going to lift our knees and plant our feet straight down with our pinky toes down, so we don't want them splayed in either direction. We're going to want them straight and firm, and then lower the knees. Then with an inhale, we're going to push up. This is Cobra. If this doesn't put too much strain on your lower back, we're going to push further up into King Cobra. There should be no straining or pulling on the lower back. The shoulders should be pressed back, and the elbows tucked in. We don't want to see any of this. This is not Cobra. So there you have it. Cobra. Now I'm going to show you downward facing dog, or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, as you will hear in class. In this posture, we start on all fours with our fingers spread wide, our hands directly under our shoulders, tuck our toes under, and lift from our sacrum up into an inverted V. We're going to want our shoulders back away from our ears. Our heels should not touch the ground all the way. We want to put a little bit of strain on the hamstrings, but it should not hurt. So walk your feet back or forward as needed. Our spine should be straight. Our feet should be hip distance apart. And this should be a relaxing posture. The first couple times you do it, you might feel a little discomfort because it is an unusual posture for your shoulders. Just try not to keep or get your shoulders up around your ears. We want to keep them pushed back with the shoulder blades rolled down the back. Next, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to start in Tadasana with our feet hip distance apart. Lift the toes, grind through the ball joint of the big toe. As you lower your toes, spread them wide and plant the pinky toe. Lift through the arches, feel an engagement in the upper thighs. Inhale your shoulders up, and as you exhale, roll them down your back, spreading the palms wide and facing forward. We'll take 2 breaths in Tadasana. Inhale, bring your hands together at your chest, fingers wide. Exhale. Inhale, your arms up overhead into a slight back bend. Exhale, swan dive into Uttanasana. Inhale to your fingertips, straightening the spine as best you can. Exhale into a full forward fold. Inhale your left foot back into a lunge. Place your hands directly under your shoulders and bring your right foot back to join it. We'll hold plank for 3 breaths. Lower chaturanga on the exhale. Plant the tops of the feet flat on the floor with the pinky toe touching, and inhale into cobra. As we exhale, we'll come up onto all fours, curl our toes under, and lift into downward facing dog, and hold this for 3 breaths. Inhale your left foot forward between your hands. Bring your right to meet it, keeping the knees bent and the chest and stomach as close to the thighs as possible. Inhale your arms up overhead into Utkatasana for 3 breaths. Inhale, extend up, bring your hands together to a slight back bend. Exhale your arms down. Inhale your palms together wide at the chest. Lower your shoulders up and back as you exhale back into Tadasana. Hold for 2 breaths. Let's do the other side. We're going to inhale our hands together at our chest. Exhale. Inhale, extend our hands up into a slight back bend. Exhale, swan dive into Uttanasana. Inhale up into our fingertips, straightening the spine as best you can. Exhale into a full forward fold. We're going to inhale our right foot back into a lunge, readjust our hands directly under our shoulders, and bring our left back to meet it. Hold plank for 3 breaths. As we exhale, we'll lower chaturanga. Place the tops of our feet firmly on the ground with our pinky toes touching, and inhale cobra. As we exhale, lift onto all fours, curl our toes under, and lift up into downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Inhale, bring our right foot forward between our hands. Bring our left to join it, keeping the knees bent and thighs and stomach as close to the thighs as possible. Inhale your arms up overhead into Uttanasana for 3 breaths. Inhale, extend up, bring our hands together, a slight back bend. Exhale, our hands down. Inhale, our hands together at our chest. As we exhale, roll our shoulders down and back into Tadasana. Hold for 2 breaths.